What do you guys think? You think, I mean, so she met him 42, he was 18, I believe the articles.
Yeah, 18 and 42.
You guys think, what do you guys think? Fair game or?
Fair
I
game.
mean, he seems happy, question mark, question mark, question mark. But I do know there was a whole like movement on the internet that was like hashtag free Aaron Taylor Johnson, but he seems happy. Yeah. I do think it's weird though that her eldest daughter is only 4 years younger than Mr. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That is a little weird.
Okay. Your reaction?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's their life, and as long as he's happy in this situation, I mean, and he doesn't feel like he was groomed, then you know. But if he was groomed and maybe she was talking to him before he was 18, then I would.
That's what I had heard.
Think that would be more of a problem.
I feel like I graduated high school when I was 17 and not 18, but I feel like I've grown a lot since those years, and to be freshly out of high school, in theory, if you were 18 like that is really discomforting to me, and I guess it's legal, but myself, I don't like to see that.
I think it really depends on the dynamic. I mean, obviously my boyfriend's way older than me, so I can't really be against this in any fashion. But I mean, as long as she's not like abusing him or anything like that, I think it's fine, and they're both consenting.
What's your
adults.
age gap relationship?
I'm 20 and my boyfriend's 39.
Okay, so 19 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Your reaction?
Oh, I think it's weird because, like, when I'm, like, 43 or however old she was, like, I don't think I could look at an 18-year-old and be like, oh, my gosh, let me get married to him.
Why?
Because, like,
unless he looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's fine.
I don't know.
But tall drink of water, that man.
Because, like, they're just so immature and, like, all of that. And it's just like you're like a child, like nothing wrong with it, like go do you, but like it's just not something I would do.
I'm neutral because like I get your point, but I also get that they're both like he's 18, so like he could do whatever he wants practically, type of deal.
Okay.
I mean, got with the 70-year-olds.
Sure.
My reaction, I think that he's 18, so he can do whatever he
now
feels.
let's just
and
switch
if they're
it.
happy,
Sure.
then-
Let's go ahead and switch it. 42-year-old male dating an 18-year-old woman. You guys cool with it too?
I mean, like I said, if I'm not going to judge one way that the age gap, like if I'm not going to judge an older woman, then I guess, I mean, frankly, I kind of do judge her a little bit. Because like she said, like I would not, if I'm 42 years old, I would not be looking at an 18-year-old.
Sure. You might not, like, you personally wouldn't want to
But I
date
guess,
a young person, but
you don't blame her though, right?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
if you were her age, right?
I don't blame
and you were
her.
with that guy that you found sexy as hell.
Yeah,
For real, if you could pull that.
You're
Seriously.
saying at 42,
And also, if I looked that
so
good
what
at
would
how
change
old
at
she is?
42 that would make you less desirous of how that guy looked?
Well, I don't know, but that's actually interesting that you say that. I think that there's definitely like attraction levels. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's like I guess it's a statistic. It's a graph, and it was like the ages that women find attractive as they get older.
Yeah.
Women. That's what I said.
You said woman.
Sorry. I think I just pronounced it weird. I'm not trying to say it with an A. In my head, there's an E there. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Women. I don't think that. Basically, what the graph said was that as women get older. I don't need to finish.
She did it right that time. That was a little.
She said woman, but okay, go ahead.
Women.
All right,
She said it right.
Yes, there we go. Women.
Women.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. 21 years of life, guys, and no one's ever corrected me on that. Okay. But anyway, as they got older, the attraction that they have to other people, like those ages also get older. But then with men, it kind of stayed in that Leo DiCaprio age of like 18 to 25. Yeah. And I don't know, like again, like there could be some sort of bias on that, absolutely. But generally, I think it's just less common. Like I think that's why the internet freaked out about Aaron Taylor Johnson and Sam Taylor Johnson is because that's just more uncommon. It's way more common to see an older man with a younger woman. Would I judge
If
it?
you find that guy
Maybe, but why
attractive-
does my opinion matter?
But if you find that guy attractive right this second, what do you think will happen when you're 40 that'll make him less
No, but I mean, okay, attraction is one thing, but I think actually going after it is another thing completely.
But if you're attracted to him, why wouldn't you go after him if he was interested?
Well, I mean, go after it. But then remember how we were talking about, like, last podcast we talked about, would a man find you more attractive in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
Yeah.
And the kind of consensus that we came up with was no, a man would not find
Yeah.
me as attractive. So it's kind
Agreed.
of one of those where I could be attracted to somebody for sure, but would they even want to get with me? Like, that's kind of a rare
Yeah, that has
situation
nothing
right there.
to do with what would make you less attracted to
Right.
him when you're 40.
I don't know. I think ideally by 40 I'm already settled down.
Yeah, but if you're not, what would actually make
if
you?
I'm not,
and even
then
if you were,
if I'm still
that
pulling,
still wouldn't have anything to do with the attractive level.
yeah. I mean, that's why I said who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Whatever. People can do whatever they want to do. I could not with someone who's older than my dad.
Crazy Ace, thank you for the gifted 20 subs on Twitch. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Crazy Ace. So what about a 42-year-old man dating an 18-year-old woman? You fine with it?
I think it's the same as the reverse. I think that as long as she wanted it and if she was going after him and he, like, when at the end of the day, if you're pursuing someone, if it's consensual, and again, like, the guy isn't like manipulating to groom someone, same with the woman, because women can do it too, then it's not my problem, it's not my life. If they're happy, that's them.
Well, here, let me make this a little easier. So before the show, all of you filled out questionnaires. There's a question on it which reads, is it wrong for a 30-year-old to date a 19-year-old? Lucy, you said yes.
I said yes and no, I'm pretty sure. Did I say all the way yes?
You said all the way yes.
Dang it.
Mizzy, you said yes, it is wrong. Ruby, you said it's wrong. Mandy, you said no. I can't read your... Kenna, you said you didn't answer it?
Oh, I don't think it's wrong.
Okay.
Is it weird?
You're fine with it?
Maybe.
It's weird, but
it's weird, but it's not wrong, I guess, yeah.
Elle, you said no. Naomi, you said no. Riley, you said yes. It is wrong for a 30-year-old to date a 19-year-old.
I think it just depends. Like I said, there was no in-between answer for that one, so it just depends on the circumstances.
What are the circumstances?
Like I said, if it was consensual, if it was like there was grooming involved, which often happens, like at that age.
But that would be wrong regardless of age.
Right, but it just happens more often if people are younger and they're not fully developed yet.
Well, assuming...
Does it? I think it probably happens a lot more often with people who have a distinct power dynamic difference, right? So it wouldn't really matter, right? It wouldn't really matter the age ultimately. So, like, if there's a 24-year-old millionaire and there's a chick who works at Starbucks, right? That would just be this same idea of like a power differential, right? And that's what everyone's bitching, really complaining about, is that there's some type of like power dynamic. You said freshly out of high school, that means you're naive, or freshly 18, it means you're too dumb to make these decisions, right? But I don't really understand that, because it seems to me like your chances of running into people around your same age group who can do these exact same things to you actually are much higher. Like significantly higher, in fact. So I've just never really understood that argument.
I just feel like there's like a mental difference too between someone at age 30 and someone at age 19. I know that even in the last 2 years of my life, I've gone through tremendous amounts of change. You know, your frontal cortex doesn't start developing until you're like 20, 21. So like...
Yes, it does. Your prefrontal cortex does develop before that.
Okay.
You're talking about the full development at 25.
The full development at 25.
But then it starts to erode after 25.
But I mean, maybe this is just my experience, but I genuinely feel that like 1 year ago at 20 years old, I had not anywhere near the amount of mental clarity that I do now. So if I had made an informed decision like getting married to somebody, I might not feel that way right now. So that's like...
So why should you vote at 18?
That's actually such a good point. But I think that's like... because that's a good point. That's a good point.
So then think.
But I'm not the president, so
I gotta ask. So I just gotta ask.
Yeah.
Right? Like ultimately, the truth is, every couple I've ever known, one's really much smarter than the others most of the time.
Interesting.
Most of the time, one is much smarter. I wanted to research this out, so I went looking. I was like, now, you know, everybody has their biases. It could be that it's just the types of people that I'm around, maybe. Maybe it's a function of the Midwest, even though I grew up in California. Maybe it's something like that. So I took to the one place where you can always find answers which are completely unbiased and always correct, which is Reddit.
I knew you were going to say that.
So, but the reason I use Reddit threads a lot is because people often will source data that you can't find by Googling. Google will bury results. Reddit, these like little tweaker, meth addict Adderall heads.
You need a question answered.
Yeah, they're up there for like 5 hours a night just with one cigarette and coffee, just typing away, right? They actually will have some pretty good sources. So I went and started diving into this. Well, what was interesting in the thread, one, was how many women were asked, do you think your husband, are you in a position like a white collar position with a degree and your husband's blue collar, and who do you think is smarter? Almost everyone on the thread was like one was like, look, I'm a doctor, my husband's a mechanic, he's way fucking smarter than me. Then you go down the list and I was like, actually it actually kind of makes sense, right? And then when they started posting the sources for this, it started to make sense too, right? So women like to punch up. They like to punch above their weight class when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to... they don't really want to be equally yoked, right? So maybe it could be that there's some cases where there's a financial offset, like, I have more money than you, but maybe the man surpasses you in every other capacity, and that's enough, right? And I'm not saying in all cases or even most, but at least in some. But it kind of reaffirmed my bias a little bit that, and the more people I talk to, hey, look... most couples aren't really that on par with each other. They don't really have similar interests all that often. And that seems to be fine, seems to work fine. Like, I love video games. Wife fucking hates them. Doesn't give a shit about them, right? Likes to see me play them, but she doesn't care about them at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were...
Yeah.
No problem.
Graffito Tagged donated $200. Woman. Well, man. Well, woman. She was a thief. You gotta believe she stole my heart and mind.
Yo, thank you, Graffito. Thank you, Graffito Tags, for the TTS. W's in the chat, guys, for Graffito. Good to see you back in the chat, man. Thank you so much for the TTS, man.
But anyway, just to cap it off, right, so I don't ramble, I'm just saying that there could be a variety of reasons for it. I haven't got through all the data yet, but it does seem to be the case that married women anyway, tend to report their husbands as being smarter than them.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like it's like when you're looking for a partner, you want to look up to them. You want them to be somebody that inspires you, that makes you feel secure if like there's someone who has their shit together. But I don't know. I mean, one thing I've learned, especially from being on this podcast, is that my opinions are very different, I think, than the average woman.
No. See, that's where you're different. Unfortunately, you're not a unique snowflake, and I would say that your opinions are just like most women.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think that like I would want to be on par intelligence-wise with my partner, ideally. Oh, but this goes actually, as I was going to say, this goes back to what we mentioned earlier, and then we didn't really dive into it, but you said something about, is it wrong or right for someone to want something in their partner that they themselves do not have? And I feel like it really depends, but on something like intelligence or on something like traits, like I almost feel like no, because if it's something that you like, something that inspires you, then like you would want to be surrounded by that. Like I might want to be with somebody who like knows how to sail because I think that's cool, and then boom, we'll sail together because you'll teach me, that sort of thing. People like to be taught.
Yeah, but all you're doing is reaffirming gender roles.
Well,
so wouldn't you want to be around men who are good at construction? Wouldn't you want to be around men who are good? Wouldn't you want to be around men who are good at all these things that you have a deficit in?
Yeah, sure.
So, well, then
My
you're just
ex-boyfriend was an
reaffirming.
electrician.
Then wait, I just want to let you know, you're just reaffirming gender roles. You're just saying everything I feel that there's
But
a
I
deficit
don't want my
in,
person to
I
be
can
smarter than
understand
me.
why I'd want to be surrounded by the things I have a deficit in. It's like, well, in this case, then what would masculinity be? It would be the offset for the things you have a deficit in. Right?
But also, like, I also feel, for me personally, I like being around people who I like the version of myself that I'm presenting when I'm around them, because I inspire them too. They look up to me in certain ways. Like maybe I mean, like I have a few friends who like I really enjoy being around because they genuinely like listen to everything that I have to say, and they really like appreciate my advice or my skill or my knowledge on a subject, and like I think that's super important too. I don't want to be told what to do all the time.
That's different than a mate. That's different than somebody you're with.
But I kind of disagree though, because ideally your partner should be somebody that you have that baseline friendship with.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, yeah, there could be some traditional gender roles there, but you know, I want my partner to teach me things, but I want to teach them things too. Like that's the beauty
What
of
do you
having
wanna
a
teach
connection
them?
with somebody. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person to person. I can't.
Do you
want
want
to
to teach him emotional intelligence?
Yes.
No, ideally,
Yes.
ideally my partner is already emotionally
Like
intelligent.
really, what do you want to teach a man?
Well, I think that's kind of the beauty of life is you don't know what to expect, and I might.
I'm just
still
asking
find
you
some
right now.
things.
What do you want to teach a man?
I don't know. Maybe about some literature. Maybe
You
about
gonna
philosophy.
You gonna teach him about literature or philosophy?
Yeah, I've had a few relationships that were like that. You know, he maybe had like a larger vocabulary than me, but I was more well read than him. It was like interesting like that. Like, you know, there's like different things where you can connect on something. I don't want to learn about something I don't care about. You know, so it has to be something that I'm already somewhat
What
interested
literature
in.
were you teaching men?
I'm not like giving him a class, but like we like read books together. Like I would
that's
read out
cute.
loud for him. Like it was
very
it was.
Wait, you read him? I was like,
you
can we do
read
book
him
club?
books?
Yeah,
like
it was
at
cute.
bedtime?
Yeah,
so
no, not at
cute.
bedtime.
That
We
is
would like sit in the park
Hold
and
on.
like he'd rub my feet while I read him a book.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god, I love green
Go
eggs
ahead.
and ham.